Hey guys, it's Olivia at Salon Calico. I have Sam with me today. So we are going to be doing his first hair color. So I'm super excited. He's got type 4C hair. So he hasn't done anything with color so far because he's worried about, damaging his curl pattern. So I'm going to be using a color today that is, we're not going to bleach it first. We're just going to do a straight color, and we're going to be doing like a cool coppery ginger color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually wash and condition him first. The reason that I'm doing that is so that way if any natural oils on his hair, any product, anything, I'll get that barrier off of his hair cuticle. And that will give me the opportunity to detangle while he has conditioner in his hair. Otherwise, if you try to dry detangle 4C hair, it's just gonna break. I mean, you can, but it's not recommended. And then when I dry him before I put the color, I'm gonna stretch his hair. So that way, as we apply the color, it's gonna be nice and detangled and a lot faster for me. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. So what I'm using here is a carbon fiber pick. The reason that I'm not using a metal pick is the metal doesn't really flex, so it tends to break the hair, and then the plastic ones, especially if you're working on a tighter coiled texture, will break. So this has like kind of a nice amount of like flex to it that I'm able to get through his hair really nicely. And mind you, I have conditioner in it, so that way it's moisturized as I'm stretching it and as I'm detangling it. I already checked with him if he's tender-headed, so that way you know like how softly to go. And then I would use a tangle teaser usually, but his hair's short, so I'm just kicking it old school with this. Okay, so what I'm going to be using is I am going to be using the L'Oreal Hicolor highlights. I want to show you guys the difference because there is a difference between the highlights copper and the sizzling copper Hicolor, because if you look, this tube is smaller, and this one is specifically for highlights. So this one, a lot of the time people get this thinking that they're gonna get a really insane lift. You're really not. This one is the one, if you want a lot more bright color and you don't want a darker auburn, this is the one that you want to use. So if you're going from dark brown hair like this and you want to go to a ginger color, make sure that you're using the highlights version. Because I know a lot of people go online and they think that they're the same thing, but they're not. So I'm using that with 30 volume. 2-to-1, so as you can see, it's a little soupy, so be careful when you put it on that you're not like slinging it everywhere. And because of that, I don't want it to stain his skin, so I'm going to put some petroleum jelly around the hairline. And I'm gonna put a cap on it. I'm gonna let it process naturally up until the last 15 minutes. I'm gonna put it under low heat. You want to make sure with this being a higher strength formula that you're not putting it under high heat, because that could really irritate your skin. So yeah, this is what we're going to be applying, and I'll show you guys once I got it applied. Okay, so I want to show you guys the method in which I'm applying. The reason that I detangled him really well beforehand and made sure to wash the hair so that way I could go through it really easily, because, okay, so if I were to just try and like work it in without separating the hair, it's just gonna suspend on the surface of the hair. So we have to make sure we separate it out really nicely, push it down, and then really push the product into it. And this is why the hair prep is so important, because if you don't do that, which really doesn't take that much time, then you're gonna be sitting there with half of the head already processed, still trying to get it on. And you don't wanna just go and slap the color on, because then it's gonna be uneven. You're gonna have parts of the roots that aren't colored, and it'll just look like a patchy mess. Okay guys, so we just rinsed out the color. I just washed and conditioned to make sure that there wasn't any residue on his skin or scalp, so that way his hair will stay clean. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna moisturize his hair. I'm gonna use the Oribe styling butter. So that way, I'm gonna use the Nudred Sponge. I wish I had the one that had like kind of the you know, waves. I think that would work a little bit better, but this will still work on his length. Any longer than this, and you would need the one that has like kind of the ridges on it, because that like picks up the hair. But I'm gonna moisturize his hair first. I just towel dried his hair, just like press it so that way you're not like knotting it up as you're like rubbing on it. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of the curl jelly. It's for shine and definition. So I'm gonna put like a healthy amount of this and then just a little bit of the gel, just because I want it to help like stick the twists together. And then the tip with this is when you're going, you wanna use the short motions, and you only wanna stick in one direction, because if you go back the other direction, you're gonna unravel the twist that you just made. So I'm gonna prep his hair. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's already forming the nice little peaks and coils, twists. And you can kind of see the difference, like from one side, we're not defined over here. So it's a really cool like texture over here. And then this is, you know, if you just wanted to wear it, you know, picked out or whatever. But I really wanted to go, because of the lighter color, I thought it would look really, really cool with the texture. So that's how we're gonna rock it out today. So I'm gonna you gotta keep at this for like 5 minutes or so. I mean, you could do it longer, depends. But his hair is gonna be a little bit more malleable right now because we use the color, and it's ever slightly relaxes texture. Just a tiny bit, not anywhere near what bleach would do, but it actually kind of helps with this because if I did it like, you know, how he came in, I would have to do this for a lot longer, but right now his hair is just a tiny bit more flexible than when he came in. So I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll show you the end result. All right guys, so we're done. We finished up with the twists. It wanted to fight me in the front a little bit, but I just wanna turn and show you guys what a beautiful texture we got out of the sponge. Just cleaned up the neckline just a little bit. So yeah, his hair is still a little damp, but I just want it to settle in naturally. If I put him under the dryer, it might create a little bit of frizz just because it'll be blasting it. So I just want it to dry naturally. And once it dries naturally, you won't see any of the product in his hair. It's just right now it's a little damp. So yeah, that's how you can get a nice kind of a rust burgundy brick red without using bleach and without compromising the integrity of the hair structure. Thanks for watching.